A neuron is a specialized cell that is responsible for transmitting information in the nervous system. It is composed of three main parts: the cell body, soma, dendrites, and axon. The cell body, or soma, contains the nucleus and other organelles necessary for cellular functions. It also receives and integrates signals from other neurons. Dendrites are the branch-like structures that extend from the cell body and receive incoming signals from other neurons. These signals are transmitted as electrical impulses and converted into chemical signals called neurotransmitters. The axon is a long, thin fiber that extends from the cell body and transmits electrical impulses away from the cell body to other neurons or target cells. It is covered in myelin, a fatty substance that acts as an insulator and increases the speed of electrical signal transmission. At the end of the axon, there are small structures called synaptic terminals that release neurotransmitters into the synapse, the small gap between the terminal and the dendrites of the next neuron. These neurotransmitters bind to specific receptors on the dendrites of the receiving neuron, and if the signal is strong enough, it can trigger an electrical impulse that travels down the receiving neuron's axon. This process of transmitting signals between neurons is called synaptic transmission and is critical for the functioning of the nervous system. The strength and frequency of signals can be modified through a process called synaptic plasticity, which allows the nervous system to adapt and learn. In summary, neurons are specialized cells responsible for transmitting information in the nervous system. They receive incoming signals through dendrites, integrate these signals in the cell body, and transmit outgoing signals through the axon. The release of neurotransmitters at the synaptic terminals allows signals to be transmitted to other neurons or target cells. Importance of neuron in real life. Neurons play a critical role in our daily lives and are essential for the functioning of the nervous system, which controls and coordinates all bodily functions. Here are some examples of how neurons are important in real life. Sensory perception. Neurons in our sensory organs, such as the eyes, ears, nose, and skin, allow us to perceive the world around us. They detect and transmit signals related to vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch to the brain, which processes and interprets the information. Motor control. Neurons in the motor cortex of the brain and the spinal cord control our voluntary movements, such as walking, running, and grasping objects. Damage to these neurons can lead to paralysis or loss of motor function. Learning and memory. Neurons in the hippocampus and other regions of the brain are involved in learning and memory. They allow us to store and retrieve information, and they play a role in the formation of long-term memories. Emotional processing. Neurons in the amygdala and other parts of the brain are involved in processing emotions, such as fear, joy, and sadness. They allow us to respond appropriately to different situations and experiences. Communication and social interaction. Neurons in the language centers of the brain enable us to communicate with others through speech, writing, and sign language. They also allow us to understand and interpret social cues, such as facial expressions, tone of voice, and body language. In summary, neurons are essential for our daily functioning and play a critical role in our sensory perception, motor control, learning and memory, emotional processing, and communication and social interaction.